Welcome to class 11 students. This is the continuation part of the chapter chemical constituents of the living cell, and in my previous video I discussed with you the topic of allosterism and its two types, positive and negative allosterism. And now we are going to talk about, in this video, this is the final video of this chapter, we are going to talk about the factors that affect enzyme activity. Okay, now in your book there are 7 factors that affect enzyme activity. I would suggest you to read thoroughly the first 5 points. I am going to explain all the points. It is not that you will get 7 points. You might get to write 2 to 3 points, or you might also get how this particular factor affect enzyme activity. So it's better you read the first 5, which are the most important points. Okay, so let's start with the topic of which factors affect enzyme activity. So students, these are the different factors that affect enzyme action, that regulate the activity of the enzyme. First and the most important one is temperature. Okay, so the rate of an enzyme catalyzed reaction increases with an increase in temperature. Let me show you how. Look at this picture here. It is a graph where temperature is plotted on this axis and the rate of reaction is plotted on this axis. Now you can see that this is how the reaction rate is with the increasing temperature. So the reaction rate is this much at this temperature, this much at this temperature, and this much at this temperature. It is increasing, and this is the maximum rate of enzyme catalyzed reaction at this particular temperature, and that is why this temperature is known as optimum temperature. As you can see, if you see the graph, you can see that apart from this exact point, the rate of reaction is increasing in below this temperature, and above this particular temperature the enzyme is denaturing, means getting destroyed. So optimum temperature is, you will find the definition in your book, the temperature that promotes maximum activity is known as optimum temperature. So the temperature at which the rate of reaction of enzyme catalyzed reaction is maximum is known as optimum temperature, and with temperature it increases. So enzyme action is directly proportional to the effect of temperature. Okay, so coming back to this picture, here we have already done temperature, and we got to know that increase in temperature increases the rate of reaction. Okay, next we have effect of pH. We are only going to learn the important ones. There are many factors that affect enzyme activity, but it is really not possible to read all of them, to read in details or how they affect the enzyme activity. So we are only going to learn the most important ones. So the most important one we did is temperature. Next, another important factor is the pH, and it works in the same manner as temperature does. So when temperature is kept constant, the activity of enzyme is found most efficiently over a particular pH range. So here also we have a optimum pH, that means the amount of pH where the rate of reaction is maximum, and below or above that the enzyme reaction is very less, or the enzyme itself gets denatured. Okay, so temperature and pH done. Then we are going to talk about the inhibitors. So this is number 1, this is number 2, this is number 3, inhibitors. Now how do inhibitors work? So now to explain the effect of inhibitors on enzyme, we are going to learn about 2 types of inhibitors. Okay, so previously under allosterism you learned what inhibitors are. They inhibit the binding of the substrate with the enzyme by bringing about changes in the active site. Okay, now inhibitors are also of 2 types, one which performs competitive inhibition and the second one which performs non-competitive inhibition. Okay, so what about the competitive inhibition? First, talking about this one. Here the inhibitor competes with the substrate to bind with the active site of the enzyme. I am reading from the book. See, certain inhibitor may have similar molecular conformation like the substrate and compete for the binding of on the active site of the enzyme. So the inhibitors this site and the substrates this site is very much similar to each other, and that is why the inhibitor can bind with the enzyme as the substrate, and if the active site is already occupied by the inhibitor, then the substrate will not be able to bind with the enzyme, so it is getting repelled, as you can see in this picture. So this is a competitive inhibition because the inhibitor is in a constant competition with the substrate to bind with the enzyme, and once it binds with the enzyme, it doesn't let the substrate to bind with the enzyme. Okay, now moving over to the non-competitive inhibition. How is that? This inhibitor, which generally should have bound with the allosteric site, right, and this is the active site. The inhibitors which are effector molecules, they should not bind with the active site, they should generally bind to the allosteric site. So this inhibitor does that only, it binds with the active site and brings about structural change within the active site. As you can see here, the structure was like this and it had become so narrow that the substrate cannot bind with the active site of the enzyme. Okay, so this is a non-competitive inhibition. Here the inhibitor does not have to be in constant competition with the substrate, it can just bind with the enzyme at the allosteric site and bring about changes in the active site, and then also the substrate will be repelled from binding with the enzyme. Okay, so these are the two, competitive and non-competitive inhibition, and this is how the effect of inhibitors are on the rate of reaction. Okay, so we are done with the effect of inhibitors. Let's talk about the effect of activators. This is number 4. So the substance that can induce or activate the enzyme catalyzed reaction to occur is known as an activator or inducer. We have already learned about this under types of allosterism, which was positive allosterism, right? And activators can regulate the enzyme activity by binding at the allosteric site of the enzyme, producing change of the active site of the enzyme in a positive way, in a favorable manner, so that the substrate can bind tightly with the active site of the enzyme. Okay, so you have learned this previously, and this is how activators or inducers affect the enzyme activity. Next, we have substrate concentration. Point number 5 is substrate concentration. So the rate of an enzyme catalyzed reaction increases with the increasing substrate concentration up to a certain point, when an increase of substrate concentration produces no significant change in the reaction rate. So here also we have a optimum level of substrate concentration below which is the maximum, which will give us the maximum rate of enzyme activity, and after that there will be no change in the rate of enzyme activity. It will not decrease, it will just be the same, no change at all. Okay, so more the concentration of substrate, more the rate of reaction will be until a certain point of time. Okay, after these 5 are very important, these 5 points are very important. Then you can also learn the effect of enzyme, point number 6, and the concentration of the product as point number 7. These two are there, means there are 7 points in your book. If you can read those 5 points which I first marked, the first 5 points, it will be more than enough. You don't even need to read 6 and 7. Okay, I hope I am clear to you all, and at the end of the chapter you will find another topic, which is competitive and non-competitive inhibition, which is same as what I explained. So I am not explaining that again, because I have already done that, and you can just go through it again. Okay.